Hello everyone, Stepan here. Today I'm going to play a training game against Amin. He contacted me via email and told me that he started playing around 2 years ago. He is 1800 USCF and he's passionate about chess, just like I am. So we arranged to play a training game. Let me just say good luck. Anyway, he told me that he's playing the World Open this year, so he would like to have some training games, and I agree. I would like to play training games against somebody who is as passionate as I am. Okay. I thought about playing c4 or d4. I don't know. I'm going to play e4. Not to mess around. If you would like to play a training game against me, please either add me on Lichess or contact me via email. Before we start the game seriously, I would just like to say thanks very much for the support and everything, the kind comments and the support I've been getting on the channel. The Caro-Kann! Wow! Okay, this is going to be fun. Sometimes when playing against the Caro-Kann, I feel like I'm playing against my child or something. I feel kind of weird trying to beat the Caro-Kann because I like it so much. I'm just going to play d4. Okay, normally I will play knight to c3 in tournament games, sometimes e5, although I've never played that in a tournament game actually. I like playing e5. I'm going to go for the fantasy variation here. I haven't played that too much and I wanted to start my work on it. At the end of the video I'm going to analyze the game as well, so I can see where I went wrong, and I hope the training game is instructive. The goal is that you can hear my thoughts during the game. Let me know what you think about the game in the comments below. Let me know if you have or had any ideas during the game. Help me improve on my play and Amin's play, definitely. He has this green thing next to his name. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. Okay, he takes e5 is the main move here. Wow, this is a bad mistake. I think this is just a blunder. I mean, I've been preparing the fantasy variation for some time and I don't know this move. This has to be a mistake. e5 has to be correct here. By the way, if you don't know the theory in the fantasy variation, and knight to f6 definitely isn't theory, you can watch the video on the channel. I'm just going to play e5. I guess after knight d5 or knight d7, knight d7 should be the correct move, definitely, just to reroute the knight. I'm going to play knight to f3 and continue normally. Now he's cramped way down in development after I develop my knight, and he's going to have a rough time developing his light squared bishop. At some point he's going to run into c4 if he plays knight d5. So I think that this move is just a blunder. I think white is already significantly better here. I think he confused this for which line actually, I'm not sure. But I'm not sure I've ever seen knight f6 in the fantasy played like this. Yeah, I'm just going to play fast. I think he is going to have a rough time developing now. g6, bishop g7 is staring at my pawn chain. e6 developing his dark squared bishop. I still have c3 and he doesn't have that much scope. Yeah, this move. Okay, let's think. c5 firstly does nothing about his development. Two moves here. Bishop c4, staring at the weakness at f7. So definitely an idea. And the second move, simply d5. I mean, after d5, he can't play e6. He can play g6, bishop g7, but then I have e6. I'm not sure about his play. I really don't know. Is this a variation, perhaps? Because I've studied the fantasy variation and I've never seen this. If this is some sort of theoretical, weird, Alekhine type of knight jumping, then I'm definitely not aware of that. Is queen a5 check anything? I'm not sure. I don't think so. d5 knight b6 e6. d5 knight b6 c4. d5 knight b6 e6. I think I should just play d5 and bishop c4 e6. Bishop c4 c takes d4. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play d5 just to stop knight c6. If knight b6, I'm going to play c4. Because c4 is defended by the bishop. Knight b6, c4, knight takes c4, bishop takes c4, queen a5. Yeah, he doesn't win my bishop. I got scared for a moment. I was looking at knight b6, c4, knight takes c4, bishop takes c4, queen a5. Yeah, this is now, I think, just terminal for him. Should I take or play d6? Both options look... wow. This just looks bad for him. I don't know what to say, really. I think that this position is almost losing, if not losing already. Okay, now d6 is definitely tempting, but then g6, bishop g7, and he's on my e5 pawn. And if I play d takes e6, f takes e6, knight g5. What does he do about knight g5? So I'm looking at d takes e6, f takes e6, knight g5, probably queen e7. D takes e6, f takes e6, bishop g5. Should I play bishop g5 immediately? D takes e6, f takes e6. I should just play bishop c4 and castle. And I think the threats are overwhelming. Yeah. Bishop c4, stopping his c5 pawn from moving and his bishop from developing normally. Now I actually run into knight b6 here. This might have been a mistake. I'm not happy about this. Yeah, knight b6. Maybe I should just stop him from castling now. Exchange the queens off and... Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about this. I should have considered before playing bishop c4. Bishop c4 was just a bad move, I feel. Knight g5 on the previous move. I think I couldn't get my knight out. Knight g5 now. He can take here. Let's just get my pieces out. I'm not happy about bishop c4. I think I had a win, and I had a winning position. Now I don't think it's winning anymore. Just bad play. Bishop c4, I played it too fast and I didn't think. Perhaps even d6 was much better instead of d takes e6. I don't know. I think knight f6 is just bad. It's just a blunder, but I misplayed it. Bishop to e3 seems logical. Just want to castle queenside and attack along the d file and the f file, and hope that his king is going to be in trouble, because it's definitely in more trouble than my king. We both have weaknesses. I have a weak e5 pawn, he has a weakness on e6 obviously, and I should have gotten more out of this position. Still, the issue remains that his bishop on c8 is a dead piece. He's going to have to play knight to d7, b6 and bishop b7 to activate it, which is a lot of moves. Well, this gives me a passed pawn, so I should take it, I guess. I think his pawns are going to be weak after c3, so takes. I'm going to castle short. But yeah, this opens up his bishop. I shouldn't really do that. Yeah, this was a good move. If I take, I open up his bishop. If I don't take, I have to retreat, which I don't like. I'm going to have to retreat, I think. I want to play knight e4 and into d6, if I can. I messed the position up. Bishop c4 was just a bad move. I think d takes e6 was okay, and then perhaps knight g5 was more precise. Perhaps even bishop g5 was more precise. Bishop c4 was definitely a bad move. A6, okay, not really a too active move. He obviously wants to play b5. I'm just going to threaten the knight. Should I just threaten the knight? Yeah, perhaps just castle now and play it safely. No need to play complicated chess. He's playing with one bad piece, and I should use that to my advantage. Knight e4, knight g5 is definitely a plan. So yeah, he's rated 1800. So we are rated. I'm 80 points, 60 points higher rated than he is. Although his rating is 1800 USCF, I'm not sure what the equivalent of FIDE rating is. I want to get rid of this knight. I'm not sure whether I should play knight e4, knight g5 because it's no longer a threat, or should I just play bishop to c4 or bishop to e4, forcing a trade. I also need to play faster. I also want to play the move a3 just to stop knight to b4, which seems annoying. Knight e4, bishop e4, or a3. I think knight e4 is the correct move here. I need to play actively and not waste time. I'm so mad about bishop c4. a3 and c4 is my plan, fixing this weakness, stopping b5. If after a3 he plays b5, a3, b5, then this pawn is weak. I can perhaps transfer. No, I can't. Yeah, I'm just going to play a3 and try to play c4. Because if b5, c4, b takes c4, bishop takes c4, I can still get my plans going. I want to play bishop to e3, put pressure on c5, and then he's going to have weaknesses on c5 and on e6. And the rule in chess is that if you have two weaknesses to exploit, that's usually enough to win. Where does his knight go after c4 actually? I don't really mind him taking my light squared bishop because it's a bad piece, so I'm looking at c4 knight f4, bishop e3, knight takes here, pawn takes here. I'm still going to have these two weaknesses to exploit. c4, knight f4, bishop e3, attacking the pawn twice, knight takes... Oh, I'm so blind sometimes. After I play c4, my bishop is undefended, so this was just ridiculous. Perhaps rook a to d1 is a very sensible move. I think it is. Rook a d1, knight f4, bishop e3. Yeah, okay. Knight f4, bishop e3, knight takes bishop, rook takes bishop. Then he has c4, but I'm not sure that's a threat really. I'm so down on time, I need to speed up. I mean, I actually want to give up my bishop pair here because the center is sort of blocked and my knights are much better than the bishops, and definitely this knight is better than the bishop on d3, so if I could, I would trade these two pieces. After knight f4, I can also play bishop to c4. What about bishop c4 now? If I play c4, knight f4, he can still defend the c5 pawn with b6. And c4 gives away the d4 square. c4, knight f4, bishop to e3. I'm going to play it. c4, knight f4, bishop e3. Because I want to infiltrate into d6, and I want to trade my bishop off anyway. If he doesn't take it, I'm going to play bishop to c2. I know I gave up the d4 square, but let me just turn off the sound on my phone. I think knight f4 has to be played. Knight b6 would be bad because then I have bishop e3 winning the c5 pawn. Okay, let's continue as planned. Bishop to e3. And my idea is now to play bishop to c2. So bishop c2, knight d6, bishop takes d6, rook takes d6, and just infiltrate the position, put pressure on e6, which is the weakness from the start of the game, which bishop c4 was such a bad move. Okay, his pawn is under attack, so I guess he has to do something about it. b6 is the logical move. king b6 would just run into b4, and that would be the end of the game. I'm anxious to see what I should have done after d5. Bishop c4 is definitely bad because he gets to play knight b6 with tempo, developing with tempo. So d takes c6, f takes c6, knight g5, bishop g5, and then I'm threatening queen check, but he always has g6, and then my queen isn't doing much. But bishop c4 was definitely wrong. I wanted to castle for some reason. Here, even though I gave up control of d4, I'm controlling it with 3 pieces, so it's nothing major. If he takes, I'm going to take with the rook, and I can double up here and be much better. I think if he takes the bishop, I'm better. And by the way, I think I was winning at the start of the game, but now I'm not sure. So, do I have any good discoveries? Because if I move my knight, his knight is hanging, it's attacked twice. So I'm wondering if I can force him to take. I'm also looking at a pawn sacrifice, knight d6, bishop d6, pawn d6, king d6, bishop e4 check. Looking at the knight, the king has to go to c7. Do I have anything there? I'm not sure. Moving my knight then. Nothing big. I need to play fast. What about g3? Just forcing his knight away, but then the knight goes to g6, attacking my pawn, so not good. Okay, g3, knight g6. Do I have knight takes c5? Attacking the knight, then he takes here, knight takes e5. And he has to take the knight, then I can take here. So I think that's actually a plan. g3, knight g6, knight takes c5, attacking the knight on g6, knight takes c5, knight takes c5, knight takes on d7. If g3, knight h3 check, then I have king g2 and no problems. So I'm going to chase this knight away. If he takes, I'm very happy. Oh, did I just blunder a pawn? I just blundered the pawn. I blundered the pawn because he takes here, rook takes, knight takes, rook, knight takes here, winning a pawn. Yep, this was a blunder, this was a blunder. Oh no, I can pin the knight. Oh, I can pin the knight. Okay, still it was a blunder because I didn't see I could pin the knight. So knight takes bishop, rook takes bishop, rook takes knight, rook takes rook, knight takes here, attacking both rooks, but then I have bishop to f4 saving the game, pinning the knight, and whew, it was just bad. I should have considered this variation earlier. Oh, I made such a mess out of this game. I should have won it out of the opening. Let's calculate. Knight g6. Okay. If he plays knight g6, which is the most logical move, knight takes c5. Yeah, but my bishop is hanging with check. Okay, knight g6, knight takes c5, bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, attacking the rook and attacking the knight. No, I don't think it works. Okay, he took. I'm happy. I think knight g6 was a much better move. If he takes the knight, the variation doesn't work. I have bishop f4, so rook takes knight. Yeah, okay. Faster, play faster. Perhaps just king g2 to make sure I can double up my rooks. Bishop g6 was interesting. I'm playing like an idiot. Now my pawn is hanging. I'm just going to lose this game. What am I doing? I think this doesn't work because if takes, once again he can't take the pawn because of bishop f4. So I think I should just play h3 and g4, but then he has bishop g6. And I have a minute left. I want to desperately get my rook out of this pin. He can just take the rook first and then play knight f4, knight e5. Oh, he didn't though. He made a mistake. He should have taken the pawn after he exchanged the pair of rooks. Now I think we're just in an equal rook and pawn endgame where he is a pawn up, and if he plays correctly. Okay, so takes. If he plays king here, then I have a check, winning my pawn back. I need to play faster and better. He made a mistake. I think he had a win there, just simply exchanging the rooks, playing knight takes e5, and the game was over. This pin is now really annoying. And he still has a weak e6 pawn, which is funny, because that's the weakness. I should have won against at the opening, but now. And he's going to have a weak h6 pawn, and I have a 2-to-1 pawn majority once this exchange happens, so I think I might be better once again, but undeserved. Got a great opening, he blundered, and then I messed it up. Then I was slightly better, but then I should have lost. Anyway, I hope the game is instructive. A lot of mistakes were made, but that's the point of training games, I guess. Now I definitely have to prepare against the mistake knight f6 in the fantasy variation better, and yeah, I need to calculate better. And I got very low on time. I'm not sure what to do with this time format of 15 minutes and 15 seconds. It's not enough time to think seriously, and it's not a blitz game, so I find myself either rushing, playing moves without thinking, or thinking too much unnecessarily. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. I think rook a to d8 is the best move. Because then we have to exchange a pair of rooks. I can't just take the pawn, because if he plays rook a to d8, then I takes. If I take here, he has a check here, and I can't block with my other rook because he has two rooks attacking, and then I lose my b2 pawn. So the variation would have to go rook a to d8, takes here, rook takes here, and then pawn takes here. Then he has a weakness here, defends with the king. I go here, he defends with the rook, I fix the pawns, and I should be slightly better because he has a weakness on h6, but definitely should be a draw. And his king is closer to the center, so I don't know. I think he should play this move fast. If he gets into time trouble like me, then why didn't I put my other rook on e3? If I'd played rook to e3 instead of rook to e2, then my rook would still be on d2. Yeah, but then it actually wouldn't work, because he could then play rook to d8, and then I would have to exchange takes, and then after takes, he would have check here, and I couldn't come back to e2 because my king is one square away, and he would still win my b2 pawn, so it was actually correct to play rook d to e2. Okay. Still a fun endgame. I'm not sure. I'm still mad about bishop c4. Yeah, this is the move I expected. So now after I take, he takes, I need to exchange here and then take the pawn. And I need to play fast. If he goes to d8 now, I was calculating king to d6, which I think is the best move. I still have a 2-to-1 pawn majority on the king side, and that should be an advantage. Yeah, I need to be afraid of infiltrations, but it's going to be much harder for him to infiltrate now that he blocked the d-file with his king. So maybe rook here is the best move, because then he can't do much. If I go rook h5, he's going to go rook f6, and then he has a more active rook. So I don't like that. I think I should just go rook e4, stopping any infiltrations, because he then has to move the king in order to infiltrate with his rook, probably to e7 and then play rook to d8, but then I can just bring my rook back or go here. So yeah, I think this is the correct decision. Rook on h5 would be attacking the h6 pawn, but after rook f6, not active enough. Now I want to get my kingside pawn majority going and hopefully block his e6 pawn with my rook and my king. Ideally, of course, I want my king on e5. So let's see if I can make that happen. Often, if I manage to play rook to f4 and we exchange, yeah, that's not going to be enough. I think this is just a tempo move for me. He obviously wants to play rook e5. But I don't have to take it. I can play g4 here, rook e5, rook f3. Yeah, I think I just want to get my pawn majority going, not waste too much time. If rook e5, I'm playing king f3, defending, not letting his king into the game. If I take, then he's probably winning. Rook e5, king f3. Yeah. Now the thing is that he doesn't really have that many squares for his rook to go to. Yeah, that's the thing. Should I play h4 immediately? Yeah, because then I have king f4, and if he plays here, so king f4, check. King f4, check. King g3, rook back. King f4, check here. I can take, yeah, I can take. I think I'm going to go for this. If he checks me with the rook, I need to get to g3, but still I think it's going to be fine. If he comes back to g6, then I'm not sure how to win this. Yeah. If he goes to f1, then I'm just going to push my pawn. And have a passed pawn. I mean, I'm going to push my pawn anyway. If he goes to g6, then I'm going to have to figure something out. Sorry about the arrows. I got used to doing them while recording the videos. I don't normally draw these arrows while playing. I think this is a mistake. He thinks he has an outpost here, but he really doesn't. He wants to get his king around, but I have time for this, and the key is that his king doesn't enter the f5 square. Because now, after takes, rook g6, king g4, king here, I can attack his rook, and he has to move first. So e5 is weak, and I have a passed pawn. And I actually think my passed pawn is better. I did the arrows. I'm sorry. I think my passed pawn on the g file is stronger than his passed pawn there. Okay, king here. If he plays king to e6, I'm going to play king to h5. Then if he plays here, I have a check. Okay, so what's a better move here? Still, I think king e6, king h5. And if he plays king to f5, then I have a check. Winning. King h6. Oh no, king h6 loses actually. Because if I play king h6, he can then attack both my rook and my pawn with his king, and if I play king h7, he takes with the rook. So still hard. Maybe just rook e1. Rook e1, king to f5, then I can chase the king away. Yeah, I think that's the correct move. Because he can't really do much apart from king f5. If he checks me on h8, then I play king g6, and I think I'm winning. If king f5, rook f1 check. This actually turned out to be a very instructive endgame, unlike the opening, which he misplayed and I failed to punish, and the middle game, which I played horribly. Wow. What is this? Oh, sneaky. This is actually an exchange of pawns. If I take, he plays king f5. And if I go rook g4, he checks me and I lose my rook. I don't think he has time to save his pawn. If he plays king f5 now, I'm going to check him and I'm going to play g6, and he's going to have to give up his rook. I think rook takes c4 was a bad blunder, because then his king is closer to these pawns. The problem for him is that if he ever plays king f5, then I check him. If he goes here, then he's not really doing well, because I can play g6. And if he goes here, then his king is cut off, and I still get to play g6. Yeah, now I think he's in trouble. Why did I play that? Oh. I had rook f8. Just winning easily. Rook f8. Okay, b4 takes. I managed to lose this position. I need to go for some tricks now. I'm definitely losing now, but I'll try to conjure something up. No, actually won't. He can just play. He can just play b3, and when I take, he's faster. Sorry about this bad performance. Good game to my opponent. He played really well in the middle game, and yeah, just going to resign. Good game. Let's just see the game. Wait, analysis board. I want to look at rook f8 first. I'm sorry, just wait. So it's this position here. When he played here, I should have played just rook f8 and that's it. That's it, just rook f8. So I don't need an engine for that, and I saw it a second after I played it. Okay, let's turn on the engine. Let's see this move of his. Yeah, plus 1.5. Okay, e5 was correct. He did play knight e7, knight f3 was correct. He played c5. d5 is correct. e6. Now let's see. Okay, c4, knight c3. D takes C is one of the best moves. Okay, F takes C. Of course, not bishop c4, bishop d3, because then I get to play knight g5 and queen check and bishop takes when he plays g6. So here, here, here. No, this loses a pawn, but yeah, okay. So e6, d6, f e6, bishop c4, yeah. Knight b6, okay, queen takes, king takes, bishop d3, knight c6. I still have a big advantage. I mean, just a horrible game. Knight c3 here. Bishop e3 was a bad move. c4 immediately. Yeah, when he doesn't have knight f4. Boo boo boo. -2, yeah. Oh my god, it's just such a bad game. Yeah, and that was his mistake. He should have just exchanged the rooks. The endgame is a draw apparently, but I think I had winning chances and that I was much better at some point, yeah. Yeah, this is +2. Definitely winning, but okay, king h5 was a mistake. Oh, I could have won the rook. I could have won the rook. Ah. This is what happens when you don't think. I don't know what to say. I mean, wasn't really a good game, but definitely a lot to learn from this one. When you see a good move, look for a better one. Obviously this is losing, so it's not even a good move, but I saw rook f8 and I completely missed that I could just win a whole rook and the game. Once again, sorry about the mistakes, but that's the point of practice. Better that it happens in a training game than in a tournament game. Thanks very much for watching. Once again, thanks very much for all the support and the kind comments. Please leave your feedback on this bad game. Thanks very much. Stay tuned for more chess and see you later. Bye bye.